Hi everyone. So we've got a little bit of trouble in Paradise. I haven't shown much of our storm shelter slash root cellar because we're getting to know it. We only got it installed this summer after there was a tornado in Nashville that did a lot of damage. And well, it's leaking. You can probably tell that this is not good. So let me tell you what happened. Okay, so yesterday I was making a goulash for my family, and goulash takes tomato sauce. I've made a lot of tomato sauce out of the tomatoes that we've grown and the tomatoes that we bought this summer. And it happened to be that all of my tomato sauce was down here in the storm shelter. I didn't exactly want to come out in the rain, but I did it to myself by putting all of my tomato sauce in the storm shelter. So I braved the rain and came out. I'm glad I did. Because last night when I opened the storm shelter, this entire bottom portion here was full of water. So I was able to locate the leak. Initially I had thought that the leak may be coming from these air vents that we've got up here. But they're a good 6 to 8 inches above the ground level, so we didn't get that much rain. We got around 3 inches all at once, but it still didn't account for the volume of water that came down in here. So I'm going to turn the camera around and show you where our leak is at. Alright, so our storm shelter is made up of 2 separate pieces that are supposed to be heat sealed together. And inside, where the seam is, they have a bead of caulk all around. Sorry, I'm trying to get it to focus. And as we come around, we notice there's a hole. There's a hole right here in the bead of caulk. I really don't think that this bead of caulk is what is supposed to hold back the water. I really feel like there's a problem where the 2 pieces of the shelter come together. And this is just the weakest point where the water is coming through. It's definitely slowing down, which gives me encouragement. But here is where it's coming out. It's draining down the wall, filling up this seat area, and eventually overflowing into this bottom portion here. So I figured out that I could kind of use a microfiber cloth to wick some moisture down into a 5-gallon bucket to at least get 5 gallons ahead of myself, knowing that I would have more water to bail out of here as the ground continues to dry out. So I'm going to get to that. So as I'm bailing the water out, I'm making sure that I'm not just bailing it just outside of the shelter, because the last thing I want to do is saturate the ground around the shelter. I need it to dry out, so I'm trying to get this water away from the shelter and not just cycle the problem. Now I know this is kind of a very archaic method of clearing water out of this space. I do have a couple hoses that I could use to try to siphon, but in order to get the water far enough away from the shelter where it won't just seep back into the shelter, I would need a pretty long hose, and I don't think I'm capable of attempting, just with my own manpower, to siphon the water through the hose that long in order to get the vacuum that you need. Also, we don't have a sump pump, and we don't have a wet dry vac, and if we did, we don't have a long enough extension cord to come out this far from our barn, which is the closest thing with electricity to this area. So just doing what I can in the time that I have available. Like I just don't want it to get high enough where I can't access the things that I have down here. What I do have down here is a whole bunch of canned goods. A lot of what you saw is empty jars, which we will be filling as hunting season goes along with venison. But I do have like food in these jars. But the good thing is they could really be completely submerged and still be fine. They wouldn't lose their seal integrity, or their food wouldn't go bad, their water wouldn't seep in. They're all vacuum sealed. So I'm not super worried about the food. Obviously these cardboard boxes, they're trash now, but I'm not really worried as long as I can access my food. The leak is actually right at eye level when you stand up. So if it rained enough and it seeped enough, and this ground, there's no rocks in it. It's like a huge sponge. It used to be tobacco land, tobacco ground. This is all farming ground. So it soaks up the water, and it would probably easily fill all the way up to eye level and make all of this inaccessible if it were to continue to rain. Thankfully, it has not. And I have contacted the company. They're going to come out ASAP and do everything they can, including replace the unit if they have to, in order to not have this problem. We have a 10-year warranty, and thank goodness for that.
Jet plane through the night sky with you. I'm getting high in the sunrise with you. Getting through all the bad times with you. I wasn't missing a thing, now I do. And I wish that I could build a time machine, 'cause time moves on, and now you're gone. Oh, if only I could build a time machine, get you, I can't forget you.